Right now, there are Canadian seniors who are leaving hundreds, sometimes over $1,000, on the table every single month. Not because they don't need it, not because they don't qualify, but because nobody told them it existed. And the really frustrating part? The government isn't going out of its way to make sure you know about it either. So today, I want to sit down with you and walk you through something that could genuinely change what lands in your bank account every single month. Whether you're already retired, approaching 65, or you're helping an aging parent figure out their finances, this video could directly affect the money you receive. Here's what most Canadians don't realize. The retirement income system in this country has layers. Most people know about CPP. Most people have heard of OAS. But underneath those two programs, there is a whole set of top-ups, supplements, allowances, and deferrals that a huge number of eligible seniors are simply not receiving. In some cases, people have been missing these payments for years. And because the government doesn't automatically enroll everyone, the money just sits there, unclaimed. Let's start with the one that shocks people the most. The Guaranteed Income Supplement, or GIS, is available to low-income seniors who are already receiving OAS. In 2026, the maximum GIS for a single senior is $1,108.74 per month. That is on top of your OAS pension, on top of your CPP, and it is completely non-taxable, meaning every dollar you receive, you actually keep. But here's where things get troubling. Tens of thousands of eligible seniors across Canada are not receiving GIS, not because they were rejected, but because they never applied, or because they didn't realize their income dropped enough to qualify, or because they stopped filing their taxes, which is how CRA determines your GIS eligibility every single year. Here's why this matters in real dollars. If you're a single senior who qualifies for even half the maximum GIS, that's roughly $554 per month. Over a year, that's more than $6,600 in completely tax-free income that never showed up in your account. Over 5 years, we're talking about over $33,000. That's not a rounding error. That's a life-changing amount of money that many seniors have simply never seen. And this is where people often miss out. GIS eligibility is recalculated every year based on your previous year's income. So even if you didn't qualify before, a drop in income from stopping work, from a pension change, from selling an asset could make you eligible right now. If your annual income as a single senior is under roughly $22,488 in 2026, you need to look at this program today. For couples, the combined income threshold is different depending on your situation, but the number to know is around $29,712 combined if your spouse receives full OAS. If you're not sure where you stand, you can check your eligibility through Service Canada. But the key action is to file your taxes every year. That's the mechanism CRA uses to verify your income and continue your GIS payments. Miss a year of filing, and your GIS can stop entirely, even if you're still qualified. But that's not the whole story. There's another piece most Canadians have never heard of, and it's called the allowance. This one is specifically for people between the ages of 60 and 64 whose spouse or common law partner receives OAS and GIS. Most people assume you have to be 65 to access anything from the OAS program. That assumption is costing younger seniors real money. If you're in that 60 to 64 age window and your household income is under $41,616 combined, you could be receiving up to $1,409.72 per month in 2026 through the allowance program. And if your spouse has passed away and you're between 60 and 64 with income under $30,312, you may qualify for the allowance for the survivor, which can be as high as $1,680.47 per month. These programs exist specifically because the government recognized that some Canadians face financial hardship before they reach age 65. But because they're less talked about, and because most financial content focuses on people who are already retired, the people who need these programs most are often the last to find out about them. Pay close attention to this next part, because it's something that trips up a lot of people. There is a rule around OAS deferral that could either significantly increase your retirement income or cost you access to GIS and the allowance entirely depending on your situation. Here's how it works. You can delay starting your OAS pension past age 65 up to age 70. For every month you delay, your OAS payment increases by 0.6%. Delay it the full 5 years, and your OAS is 36% higher for the rest of your life. If the standard OAS in 2026 is $742.31 per month, a 36% increase brings that to roughly $1,009 per month. That's an extra $267 every month, or about $3,200 more every year for as long as you live. For people with good health, other sources of income to live on in their mid-60s, and no need to access OAS immediately, this strategy can be very powerful. But, and this is the part many Canadians overlook, if you defer OAS, you lose access to GIS and the allowance during that deferral period. So if you're a low-income senior who truly needs that money now, deferring OAS could actually leave you worse off, not better. The decision has to be made carefully based on your specific income, your health, your other sources of retirement income, and your full financial picture. There is no single right answer, but there is a wrong answer, and that's making the decision without understanding all the moving parts. Here's another detail many seniors overlook, especially those who turn 75. The moment you hit age 75, your OAS pension automatically increases by 10%. In 2026, that means instead of $742.31 per month, you're receiving $816.54. That increase is permanent and built into your payments going forward. If you were receiving $742.31 and you just turned 75, that's an extra $74 per month, close to $900 more per year, automatically. But here's the issue some seniors face. If they moved, if their banking details changed, or if there was an issue with their Service Canada account, that 10% increase may not have landed correctly. It's worth logging into your My Service Canada account or calling Service Canada to confirm your payment accurately reflects your age. Now, here's where things become important for anyone who has been working past 65 or who is still contributing to CPP. Many Canadians don't realize that if you keep working and continue making CPP contributions after you've already started receiving your CPP pension, you build up something called post-retirement benefits. These are small additional CPP payments added on top of your regular pension for each year you continue contributing. They're small individually, but they accumulate, and they're for life. If you're working in your late 60s and you didn't know this was happening, you may have built up more CPP income than you think. Checking your CPP statement of contributions through CRA's My Account tool can show you exactly where you stand. Most Canadians also don't think about how their RRSP withdrawals interact with GIS. And this is one of the most costly mistakes I see. Every dollar you withdraw from your RRSP or RIF counts as taxable income for that year. If you're receiving GIS, that income gets counted against your GIS eligibility the following year. GIS phases out at 50 cents for every dollar of income above your threshold. So a $10,000 RRSP withdrawal could reduce your GIS by $5,000 over the next year. That's real money gone. If you have savings in both an RRSP and a TFSA, drawing from your TFSA instead protects your GIS completely. TFSA withdrawals are not counted as income. For seniors relying on GIS, this shift from RRSP first to TFSA first can preserve thousands of dollars in annual benefits. It's a simple strategy, but most people don't hear about it until it's too late. So let's bring this all together, because there's a lot here, and I want you to walk away with real action steps. If you are a low-income senior and you're receiving OAS, but you've never looked into GIS, do that today. If you're between 60 and 64 and your partner receives OAS and GIS, look into the allowance program. If you've been drawing from your RRSP while receiving GIS, consider shifting to your TFSA. If you've recently turned 75, confirm that your OAS payment has increased by 10%. And if you're still working past 65, understand that you may be building post-retirement benefits that add to your income for life. None of these things are complicated once you know what to look for. The problem is that the system doesn't announce them loudly. You have to go looking. That's exactly why this channel exists. Every week I cover the benefit updates, payment changes, eligibility rules, and income strategies that Canadian seniors need to know before deadlines pass, before benefit periods reset, and before another payment month goes by where eligible Canadians receive less than they're owed. If you found anything in this video useful, please subscribe right now, because the next video could cover a change or a benefit that applies directly to your situation. You don't want to find out about it after the fact. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next one.